Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Claire's Circle. Today's story is a cautionary tale. This isn't a story about a tyrannical mother-in-law or an unsupportive husband. It's a story about what happens when you invite a professional into your most vulnerable space, a person you trust, and that person slowly, almost imperceptibly, begins to take control of your life. This story comes from a subscriber named Chloe. It's about the search for support during pregnancy and the danger of misplaced trust. It's about how the best intentions and beautiful rhetoric about female empowerment can hide skillful manipulation. Chloe and her husband, Mark, were waiting with great joy for their first child. Chloe writes that, being an anxious person by nature, she was most afraid of the birthing process itself. She wanted to feel not like a patient, but an active participant. She wanted to feel strong and confident. After reading numerous articles about natural birth and partner support, she decided she wanted to hire a doula. Mark, her husband, was initially skeptical of the idea. "Aren't the doctors and nurses enough?" he would ask. But seeing how important this was to Chloe, he fully supported her. "Whatever helps you feel calmer," he said. They began their search. They met with several candidates, but they all seemed just normal, competent, but without a spark. And then they met Sage. Sage was not like the others. She was in her 40s and radiated calm and confidence. She spoke in a quiet, enveloping voice about birth, not as a medical procedure, but as a sacred journey. She spoke of the power of the female body, of the cosmic connection between mother and child. She looked Chloe straight in the eyes, and Chloe felt that she was truly being seen and heard for the first time. Even the pragmatic Mark was charmed. Sage was the embodiment of everything Chloe had dreamed of, a wise guide who would lead her through this frightening process. They hired her on the spot. For the first few months, everything was perfect. Sage was a dream. She was available 24/7 by text. She sent Chloe links to meditations, taught her and Mark massage techniques, and answered every question, no matter how silly, with infinite patience. She became more than just a doula to Chloe. She was a close confidant, a spiritual guru. But gradually, almost imperceptibly, the first red flags began to appear. Sage started to gently, but persistently, question the advice of the doctor she was seeing. "Are you sure you need that extra test?" she would say. "Western medicine is so fear-based. Your body knows what it needs." She suggested alternative remedies for morning sickness that involved rare herbs that had to be ordered from special websites. Then, she began to undermine Mark's role. During their joint meetings, if Mark suggested something practical, like planning the route to the hospital to account for traffic, Sage would smile gently and say, "That's wonderful masculine problem-solving energy. But what we need in birth is feminine intuition." She started calling Chloe my birthing goddess and often referred to our team, meaning herself and Chloe, casually excluding Mark from the equation. Mark was the first to sense something was wrong. "I feel like she's trying to get between us," he told Chloe one evening. But Chloe defended Sage at the time. "Honey, you're just not used to this different kind of energy. She's just trying to do what's best." The closer the due date got, the more insistent Sage's advice became. She suggested Chloe switch to a very strict diet, eliminating entire food groups that her doctor considered perfectly safe. She actively discouraged her from a routine ultrasound in the later stages, calling it unnecessary radiation and interference with the baby's energy field. She began to criticize the advice of her own mother, calling her a representative of an older generation that doesn't understand empowered birth. Slowly but surely, Sage was isolating Chloe from all other sources of information and support, from her doctor, from her husband, from her family. She positioned herself as the sole bearer of true knowledge. The breaking point came when they sat down to discuss the final birth plan. Sage brought a document printed on several pages. It wasn't just a plan, it was a manifesto. It included points like
Medical personnel are forbidden to speak to Chloe directly. All communication must go through Sage. Any mention of pain relief options is excluded. Mark's role is to quietly provide water and stay in the corner of the room so as not to disturb the sacred feminine space. Mark read this, and for the first time lost his composure. He said, "This isn't a birth plan," he turned to Chloe. "This is the charter for a cult. She is not your guide. She's your guru, and she's trying to control every aspect of your life. I will not be a silent observer in the corner at the birth of my own child. She needs to go." Chloe was thrown into a state of panic. A huge part of her knew that Mark was right. She herself had been feeling suffocated by Sage's care lately. But another part of her was terrified. She was 38 weeks pregnant. For the last 6 months, Sage had been her primary psychological support. She had come to rely on her for everything. Firing her now, just days before the birth, felt like jumping out of a plane without a parachute. She was panicking at the thought of giving birth without her. She tried to talk to Sage to tell her that some points in the plan were too rigid. Sage's reaction was the height of manipulation. She didn't get angry. She looked deeply saddened. "I'm so sorry you feel that way. It's clear that Mark's fear-based energy is influencing you. I am just trying to protect your secret experience from the outside world. But of course, if you're not ready..." She made Chloe feel guilty for having doubted her. And now, Chloe is trapped. Her husband has given her an ultimatum. It's her or me. If she is at that birth, I don't know how I can be the supportive partner you need because I will be mentally fighting with her for you. And Sage is sending her texts about their sacred journey being almost at its destination and how she can't wait to guide her through the portal of motherhood. I'm days away from giving birth, and I am terrified. My husband is threatening to withdraw his support if I don't fire the one person I thought was my guide. My doula is making me feel like a traitor if I listen to my husband. I'm stuck between two fires and I don't know what to do. Am I the asshole for hesitating to fire this doula who has become so controlling because I'm terrified of giving birth without her? Or is my husband the asshole for giving me an ultimatum and adding more stress right at the very end, even if his concerns are valid?